Alright, so we're graphing y equals 2 sine of x. What do I expect that 2 to do to my graph? Is it going to be a horizontal or vertical? It's going to be vertical because it's not inside with the x. It's being multiplied at the beginning, so it's going to be either stretch or compression. What is it when it's a 2? Good. Stretch by what number? 2. Good. Now, what I already wrote up there in black is my parent sine table. And so what is this going to do to that table? Is it going to affect the x or the y's? The y's, how? What are we going to do to our y's? Yeah, it says 2 times. Remember, y does what it's supposed to. So multiply by 2. X's are going to stay the same. So I'm just going to rewrite my x's since they're not changing. I'm going to take all of those y's that are up there, and I'm going to multiply them by 2. Now, when I go to graph, I'm going to go ahead and graph that parent table. Now be careful because they changed the scale from the ones that we were doing before. So you got to check every one of the graphs that they give us because they can change the x or the y axis around on it. Not around on us, but they'll change the scaling on it. So there's my parent function. I can see the full period from 0 to 2 pi. And now I'm going to graph the new one. And after you graph it, check it. Does it look like we vertically stretched it? So does it look like I took it from the top and the bottom and I stretched it apart? Yes, it does. So therefore, we're probably good on that. Alright, so example 3b. This time it's cosine of x. So I'm going to erase this up here because we've already discussed it. And I'm going to write my table for cosine of x. And I'm going to go ahead and graph that one. Now, what is that negative 2 going to do that's in front of the graph? What is that negative? It's a reflection across what? Yes, across the x-axis. And what is that 2 going to do to the graph? Is it horizontal or vertical? Yeah, it's a vertical stretch. By 2. So when I go to do my table, is there anything that's going to affect my x's? No, there's nothing there with the x, is there? So nothing's going to affect the x's. Is there anything that's going to affect the y's? Yes, what? The negative 2. So what are we going to do with that negative 2? Well, it says negative 2 times cosine, right? So since it says times, we're going to multiply by negative 2. So I'll do the x's, y'all do the y's. You're multiplying by negative 2.
It's so hard.
All right. I'm off. That's why y'all were supposed to do this, so I wouldn't get off like that. Alright, and so there's our graph. Oops, sorry. Bring it back.